Hi, and welcome to Is That So with Silentway. As you know, the aim of this channel is to offer information about how government works and why systems are set up the way they are. This is with the intention to give us clarity about what could be our role in improving the governance in our country. And through this, we can create a politically empowered generation. All right, so today we're going to talk about elections and voting. And we're going to go through a couple of facts about elections in Kenya. And then we'll talk about the voter registration that is currently happening with IEBC. So we're going to start. Why do we have elections? The reason we have elections is because, we live in a democracy, a democratic society, actually. And we vote for representatives who, give our views or who give views on our behalf. So we, they can't keep asking us. We make so many decisions every day. So hawezi shinda umeuliza kila Mkenya ati unataka nini in this specific thing. So that's why we vote for representatives who give our views on specific things. So that's why we have elections, so that we vote for representatives who will give our views on our behalf. And we sampled a few thoughts about elections and voting.
Nilipiga kura but kuna vitu nilikuwa na consider, like mimi nilivotia MPs, MCA na governor, but niliomita presidential candidates.
Sioni haja. Sitapiga na sababu ni kuwa sijaona mabadiliko yoyote. Mimi ni ule. Sitapiga, nitalala.
Nimepiga kura kutoka 2007 mpaka saa hii. Change sijaona bado. Mimi naona tu alafu huku jua kikula.
Mimi nimeregister. Nimepiga kura mara kadhaa. Lakini kwa saa hii sioni nikienda kuvote kwa sababu sijaona mambo yoyote yenye inanifurahisha ya kuenda kuvote.
Ndapiga, nikichukua ndapiga. Katubadilishe maneno. Badilishe hali kidogo, hali imekuwa ngumu. Mambo si rahisi.
Siwezi piga kura sababu wenye hata anachagua ni wale ni ule. Laudi ni kulala kwa nyumba.
Elections in Kenya, according to the constitution, are done on the second Tuesday of August every 5 years. So meaning that next year, the 5th year, tutakuwa na elections on 9th of August 2022. So it actually says on Tuesday, which is interesting. Mbona tuna voting on Tuesday? Have you ever wondered? Any other message? But if you know, put your let me know in the comments. We can discuss that. Should we be voting on Tuesday? So yeah, one fun fact about voting in Kenya is that it's optional. There are about 21 countries in the world where voting is actually compulsory. Some of these countries are like Argentina, Brazil, Singapore, and even Belgium. So you're not forced to vote by the, but in those countries it's actually compulsory and it's punishable by the law. So it's your choice. If you want to vote, if you don't want, ni sawa. Do you think voting should be compulsory in Kenya? If so, let me know why you think it should. Or do you like having it as an option? Let me know in the comments. The next point is elections actually in Kenya is a public holiday. And they do this because they want us to have free time to actually go and vote. And by the way, elections in other countries are actually not public holidays. Most countries actually vote on either Saturday or Sunday. Some countries even vote over a long period of time. Like for example, in countries like India, where they have over 400 million registered voters, they actually vote for a long period of time. So in the last election, I think they took about 5 weeks to actually cast their votes. So us having elections on one day is actually a good thing, I think. Or do you think we should have them spread out? In other countries, you can choose to vote before, pre-election day, when it's convenient for you. Some of them vote online, others vote through the post office. So there are actually different ways in which people do elections in other countries. What do you think about how we do our elections? Is it a good way? Do we need to change it? Let me know in the comments. So the next point is voting is actually done through a secret ballot in Kenya. This is not obvious, imagine. There are other places, like for example in the Gambia, they use something called the marble voting system. yani wanatumia bano kuvote. So there are color-coded banos that you actually use to vote. And the reason why some systems like that works properly in that place is because, you know, it really caters for people who can't read and write. So huku kwetu, you have that kapaper, iko na majina unatik, ama you put a mark on whoever you want. That's how we vote in Kenya. Another thing to actually note is we vote for 6 different positions whenever we go and vote. So these positions are like president, governor, senator, member of parliament, women rep, and MCA. In some countries, they'll probably just have a presidential election only, and then have maybe the governor or the MP voted in a different day. So it's not obvious, but yet we vote all of them on the same day. Yeah, and lastly, voter registration in Kenya is not automatic. Lazima ujipeleke kwenda kuregister. Like they don't change it for you automatically. In other countries, when you're issued with an ID, they actually register you to vote immediately. And if you die, they remove you from the register. But obviously, you need like a touchy topic in Kenya. But yeah, so this one, you actually have to physically go and register to vote. So when you go to register to vote, there are some few requirements that you actually need so that you're able to vote. And the first one is you need to be a Kenyan citizen. So if you live in Kenya, maybe you've lived here for a really long time, but you're not a citizen, you're actually not allowed to vote. Secondly, you have to be 18 years of age. So watoto hawavotingi. Do you think children should vote by the? I think that's an interesting conversation we could probably have. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, so you have to be 18, and then you have to have an ID. Basically, kila mtu anakuanga na ID. I don't know why some people don't take their IDs, but yeah, you actually have to have an ID for you to be able to vote. If you don't have an ID, maybe you have your Kenyan passport, a valid one. Huwezi enda kuvote na ID passport may expire. You actually have to have a valid passport to be able to vote if you use that to register. So yeah, those are just the requirements that you need to have for you to be able to vote. So like we mentioned earlier, IEBC is currently conducting something they call an accelerated voter registration. So it's called accelerated because sai wameka like a lot of efforts that we can have more options of where you can register to vote. But usually registration goes on throughout. You can actually go to any constituency office of IEBC and and register to vote whenever you want. But sai, they've actually accelerated it a little bit more. So this accelerated voter registration period is actually taking place between the 4th of October and the 2nd of November. So they're doing this for 30 days. So you have a few more days if you want to take advantage of this to be able to register to vote. So where can you register to vote? Usually they would have registration open in any constituency office for IEBC, and the list and locations of where these offices are on the IEBC website, which we will link in the description box below if you would like to have a look at that. So that's one of the places that they're doing this voter registration. Another place that they're doing this is they're having mobile centers in every ward where you're actually able to register. So you can have a look at that. They also have a list of those places on the website, which we're going to link in the description box as well. And then lastly, every Huduma center in the country is also registering people to vote. So you can actually go and register to vote in any Huduma center, and you can choose the center that you will actually want to vote in. So yeah, you should take advantage of that and be able to do that. So what do you need to have when you go to register? You just need your national ID card to be able to register. Or if you would like, you can also have a valid Kenyan passport to be able to register. Some people might ask, so do I need my Huduma card to register? At the moment, no, it is not a requirement. So all you need is either your ID or your valid Kenyan passport. It doesn't have to be the two. You don't have to go at it with your ID and a passport. You just choose one. Yeah, so if you are probably in a different country and you're wondering, are they doing registration for the diaspora? At the moment, no, but the IEBC will announce soon when they'll be able to do that. So be on the lookout for that. But at the moment, we're not doing diaspora registration. And yeah, so like I mentioned again, voter registration is actually done throughout the year, in any IEBC constituency office. So in case you miss out on this period, you are actually able to still register to vote up to 90 days before the election, which is 3 months before August 2022. Do the math. So it's 90 days before the election is when they will stop registering voters. So the other thing that you also need to know is if you've already registered to vote, maybe you voted in a previous election before, you don't have to register afresh. You can actually just go back and vote on the 9th of August and you'll be able to vote. If you want to verify whether you are still registered or if your details are correct, you can go to any of the places where they're conducting registration and they can actually verify this information for you. Usually 2 months before the elections, they would release a voters register, so you can actually verify if your information has been inputted correctly. So you don't have to worry about whether nitakuwa, maybe I'll go to the station and like I won't get my name. You can actually verify this before the elections. And then lastly, maybe if you want to change where you are voting, to say we're going to vote Kiambu County and now you want to vote in maybe Nairobi County, you can actually change that. And if you want to change it, you go to the constituency office of the place you want to go and register. So for example, if you are registered to vote in Kikuyu constituency, but you'd like to move your vote to Westlands constituency, you don't have to go to Kikuyu, Kuikanzu, no. You just go directly to the Westlands constituency office and you can be able to change your vote. Yeah, so guys, I hope this information is useful for you to be able to register to vote. Please register to vote. It's important because voting is just one of the most important ways that we can actually contribute to how our country is governed. And the people who get elected make choices for you. So you want to contribute towards who is going to be elected. So I would highly advise that you register, go verify your information if you registered before, and when it comes to election day, please go and vote. All right, so this has been our episode for the day. Let me know if this information was useful for you. Comment down below and let me know what you thought about it. Tell me, are you registered? Are you going to register? Where are you registered? Are you registered in Nairobi County, in Mombasa County? Let us know. And until next time, stay safe and register. Bye.